What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Head Coach Ross of the Attacks Gym, Street Warrior, Njia Uhuru Kipura. As most of you know, Njia Uhuru is a Swahili term. It means the way of freedom. And Kipura is the correct pronunciation for the Kikongo term, referring to the whole human development and self-defense systems from Alkebulan, miscalled Africa. And Kipura is the same term from Congo that was mispronounced as capoeira by Hafia Bluto in the year 1712 in Brazil. Now this video is because my cousin and I, assistant coach Fatal, say holla at him, Fatal.
Hello everybody, this is assistant coach Fatal. Sorry you caught me
my man's getting the healthy munchies on. You know, that's what you hear in the background. So he sounds like he eating. It's because he is.
As we're on our little road trip here.
You already know we're on the road trip heading back to the LB to the C in Kelly. But this particular video is about a brother named Mark West, who created a machine that can actually extract water from the atmosphere. Basically some form of condensation of precipitation.
The atmospheric water device.
Correct. And he was doing incredible work with it around the country. And then he brought it to Flint, Michigan in order to deal with and overcome the horrible water situation there, as you're aware of.
That they still don't want to fix.
Exactly.
And refuse
to fix. And then all of a sudden, I mean, the neighborhood was great. They loved his work. He put it in for about a day or two. Everyone in the neighborhood in Flint loved his work, supported him. And then his machinery got sabotaged. And in his own words, I'm paraphrasing here, the people who did so knew what they were doing. They knew the technical specs. They knew precisely how to enter and destroy that particular machine. In other words, nobody in the neighborhood did that. Nobody who he was helping did that. Now, I wonder who did. You and I all know who did. You know, it was the evil corporate entities who benefit from controlling all forms of energy and all of our resources. That means the so-called energy companies, or really the oil companies, who are actually just evil creatures who want to exploit the planet and all of us, me, you, and everyone else, the real human beings on the planet, for their benefit, just like the rest of the 1% do. They sent agents over to actually damage and destroy this man's work. And this was at the cost of thousands and thousands of lives, hundreds and hundreds of children as well. It's just mind-blowing. What do you think about that, Fiddle?
Well, this is my thoughts on it. A machine of that nature can help revolutionize water as we think about it. Think about this. His thing is federal contracted, which means once the government pays him to make these machines, and then the water that it produces, which is at least 1,000 gallons a day, can now be used for farming. It can be used for all types of stuff. It can go to, if you're one of those who really want to live off grid, it allows you to do so. You don't have to destroy the earth by digging in and trying to take the earth water and stuff like that. It will end our water crisis on the planet, period. Secondly, imagine if you can take this this atmospheric generator that takes the air outside, takes the precipitation and makes drinkable water from it. If you can condense it to a smaller unit, every house would no longer have to pay for water. You wouldn't need the water company. It makes it easier to grow your own food. It'll be less waste. We can actually recreate villages as far as, reservoir for waters and things like that. This is something completely major, and I work with piping. I do piping stuff as a living. This would, it will work a lot. You can even use it for places in Africa or just places in the desert where you want to reliably have water there without having to, the likelihood of people sabotaging it. What else can it do? Like I said, staggering work. This would end droughts and water deficiencies, period. In Africa, if you use it right, and even if you wanted to do some type of piping, if you use enough of these, you can regrow forests in Africa where they have water droughts, and that would overall help the planet as well.
Absolutely. It would also do incredible work here. You know how here in California, Nevada, and various other places, there's this constant tug of war and pull regarding water and water access and hydration and things of this nature. All of this is ended like that because of this machine. He mentioned Al-Kibulan, Africa. There's conflict there regarding also water and the impact it has. You know, we've all seen the untrue ads regarding the wars in Eritrea and Ethiopia, which is not called Ethiopia, it's called Kush. Ethiopia is a Greek term which means sunburnt face, so you know we weren't calling ourselves that. But anyway, we'll get to that later. The point here is the power and potency, the significance of this machine that this black man created. And this is not the first time. I'm going to connect it to something else in just a minute. This single machine, which has the most incredible humanitarian impact, it is done purely because he saw a human need for it. Regardless of what color, country, whatever, he saw a human need for it and he responded accordingly. And the powers that be, the corporate powers, the whatever powers they happen to be, the corporate powers, the white supremacist organizations took it upon themselves to destroy his work. We are now concerned about his personal safety, because if they would do that to his work, they would also do that to him, because they know he's the source of his work and that work will continue as long as he exists. So those of you who are paying any attention, and most of you who are my subscribers do pay attention, you're aware, you're intelligent, you're logical, you're analytical, you're also intuitive, which is a dangerous combination. A logical, intuitive person is terrifying. Okay? You're already making the connection to what happened to the former security guard in Buffalo. This brother also had a machine, an engine. You want to talk about it, Fatal?
Yeah, real quick. The brother in Buffalo, who was a security guard, he had recently went on news to show, and he was in the middle of getting his engine patented, so it was pending. When at least the news that I saw, it said it was pending. But this machine runs off of water, which means you didn't have to work off of fossil fuels anymore, which means it's very green. And it had zero emission and zero carbon footprints, because even with electrical stuff like the Teslas, it still has a high carbon footprint base, because you still have to make the batteries, and those batteries that they make, also we don't have no
disposal.
Yeah, no real way to dispose of them.
Correct.
Plus all the plastic parts that still go into there still has carbon. So I mean, we may be reducing emissions, but we still have some type of carbon footprint, because there's still a lot of plastics that goes into the cars, from the steering wheels to the seat to some of the dashboards, even if you dress it up with leather and stuff like that. But yeah, they got that brother. They took his engine. They're probably not going to produce the water producing engine, and I believe he was targeted.
I absolutely believe that was the case as well. Let me expand upon and emphasize the kind of impact and the kind of ramifications we're talking about here. This brother in Buffalo, again, and yet another one of the tens of thousands of arguments against the lies about my people in particular being not scientifically inclined, we created science. Not being technologically inclined, we created technology. You know, not being mathematically inclined, we created mathematics. Okay? This brother created an engine that ran on water. This engine would power vehicles, boats, ships, planes, anything that required an engine. This water engine could replace. So think about how comprehensive that is. Even in the creation of a generation of electricity, this would provide an alternative. This is staggering. These are world-changing technologies here. And suddenly, shortly after he announces that he has it, he just suddenly is wearing a bullet now. He's just
a week later he is assassinated. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the word out there.
Literally, he's assassinated.
He's assassinated.
There are those who say that, oh yes, we did fact checks and stuff, and that isn't the case. How the hell could you fact check that? It's not like, okay. First, let's back up. Many of the same individuals who said they did fact checks were the ones who said that there was no such thing as racism and stuff like this in the first place. So we don't believe you. Secondly, there's a, I don't even have to explain this to you. Those of us who've been on Earth long enough know this. There comes a point in time when coincidence looms so large that it's no longer coincidence. It is a definable, recognizable pattern of malicious, murderous behavior, and it's by the same less than 1% who wants all of us, regardless of our color, but especially if you're black like me, but wants all of us under their thumb for their purposes. Think Elysium in real life. Remember that movie Elysium?
I remember.
Think that in real life.
They're already trying to move to space.
You already know it. You know it. But that's another discussion for another issue. Listen, everybody, this video is a little bit longer than we thought it was going to be. But you get the main idea. What I want you to do is please share this video. Drop your comments on at the end of this video. Subscribe to us because we definitely need and appreciate your support. And tell us what you think and tell us, let your friends let us know what you think. Please be careful and most importantly, be aware of the fact that we also have websites that teach self-defense. Njia Uhuru Kipora, which is what I told you at the very beginning, the way of freedom, using Kipora from Congo. It's an outstanding human development and self-defense system. I want you to be careful out there, especially if you're inventing things. All right? Asante sana. Amani.
I'm sure.
Ashe.